aside, you know, when you walk into the room, if there's like, say, 300 players in the room and 2% of them are playing Reanimator,
Yep.
how much do you really want to fight against that?
Yeah, we're walking into what looks to be a bloodbath here of sorts, because they have a Batter Skull germ token equipped. We have a germ token equipped with a Batter Skull and an Umazawashite. Now, Twin Street Hooligan coming on in all uncounterable and stuff, which is sweet, but which one are you going to kill isn't so sweet, because I think he has to kill the Umazawashite, but if you kill the Jite, that means that Batter Skull's still hanging out. He's going to target the Batter Skull here, so what he's going to do is he's going to go kill, and I think we're going to see him go sacrifice the fetch land and bring it back.
He's like, yeah, I'm killing your Batter Skull.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
I still got effects.
Yeah. No, you're targeting it. There's no argument to be had
got
there.
effects.
Cowden gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna bring that back. Thanks. Still has Jite in play too, so not sure Twin Street accomplished very much there.
If you're just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here in the booth with Cedric Phillips. This is SCG Live here in Cleveland, Ohio, the StarCityGames.com Open Series. Nick Cowden drops the 5th land, recasts the Batter Skull, passes things back to Joey Andrews. Now, this is a slight moment of opportunity for Joey Andrews because the Umazawa's Jite is free of counters, but he has to do something pretty impressive, and you know what?
That's really good.
Lackey is not the impressive thing.
No.
We go on to game 3.
Yep. All right, so Andrew's going to be on the play. Cowden's going to be on the draw. Goblins versus Blue Red Delver. We are evened up here in the semifinal, so we'll take a look at the sideboards here. I guess I'll take a look at the Goblins list.
Okay, please tell me, because I've got a guess. I'm going to write down what I think should be sideboard
I
here.
got nothing else to do, so Mindbreak Trap, no. Just no. Pyrokinesis, I like it. I like it here. Being able to take care of a Delver, there's the... First of all, Pyrokinesis can take care of Batter Skull Germ Token by itself. It can take care of Stoneforge Mystic, take care of Delver. Can't obviously take care of Geist, but it has the opportunity to just be a really good card in this matchup. So I like that here. Pyroblast, I don't really like because the blue cards just really aren't that great. You know, you don't want to waste a card encountering a Brainstorm. It doesn't take care of Stoneforge Mystic or Batter Skull. It makes it so that your ringleader count is actually lowered, and you want your ringleaders to be the best they possibly can. If you're going to lower the ringleader count, you need to have a card that has an incredibly high impact, which I don't think Pyroblast does have. Thalia, I don't really like. I think it's okay, but I don't think it's great. And again, you want your sideboard cards to be high impact cards that can kind of blow out the opponent. And then Relic, I would say you would sideboard against Rug Delver because they have Tarmogoyf and Nimble Mongoose. But against this deck, they don't have either of those cards. And they don't really care about the graveyard either. And they don't have Snapcaster Mage or anything like that. So I think the only card I would board against Pyrokinesis, the cards I would sideboard out for are Goblin Sharpshooter, because you're not really going to be able to sharpshoot or anything down in this matchup. I like taking out Prospector because the Prospector is, you know, part of the combo with Sharpshooter, so I like boarding that out. And then I don't really care very much for maybe one of these Mog War Marshals. Maybe sideboard one of those out and probably just call it a day. I like Sting Scourge in this matchup actually because one thing that you can do is when they cast a Stoneforge Mystic, you can bounce it and keep your tempo up. Secondly, you can just bounce the Germ Token off a Batter Skull. And there are board positions that do come to fruition where you just want to bounce a Delver Secrets that has flipped just so that you can not die. Like, that's a real thing. So.
Well, it looks like I guessed wrong. I have Pyro and Pyro.
Okay.
And I totally can hear exactly what you're saying about Pyroblast, and that makes sense to me. You've certainly played a lot more. But Pyrokinesis, the red analog to Force of Will, very good. You already can see Nick Cowden's sideboard possibilities there. I like the removal spells on the very right column there. Swords to Plowshares, Wear, Tear, Pyroclasm. And honestly, I don't really like much else. There's an argument to be made for a card like Meddling Mage just as a chump blocker, or not even a chump blocker, a guy that can trade with a Goblin. That does not sound too exciting to me. I want to have it be Swords because it's cheap, Pyroclasm because it can clear the board, and Wear Tear because, you know, getting rid of an Aether Vial can make a lot of help happen for your deck.
You know what we got to do?
What's that?
We got to give props to Daniel Olson at DOlson16 because he was the first Twitter person to make us decide what we were going to have on camera first, which was Animator Mirror. Pretty glad we did. It was a pretty sweet match. So
that was awesome. Thank you.
No hate tweets to Daniel Olson, only happy tweets to DOlson16.
We are on a game 3 here between the number 2 seed Joey Andrews with Goblins and Nick Cowden with the blue, white, red Delver. And both of these players, long day of Magic. They started this morning having to push their way through a marathon to get here. And now they're one game away for one of these players to be in the finals. Oh boy, one of the 2 turn 1 plays that are just so scary. That's a Lackey.
I mean, it is scary, but at the same time, Cowden's deck has so many answers to it. He has Swords, he has Delver, he's got Lavamancer, he's got Bolt. He's going to play a Tundra and just pass the turn back. You see in his hand, he's got a Swords that he's actually pulled forward too. So I think he's at the ready. Lackey's going to come in, but it's just going to die.
Goblin Lackey unable to pull off the trick of mana bursting.
But the thing is when you're playing Goblins, you can't keep a hand, especially against this deck, based off of Goblin Lackey hitting. You just have to keep a normal hand with like lands and interaction and just play Magic. And if he had Vial on turn 1 and didn't draw it for this turn, I actually would have wanted to establish Vial first. Because, again, it is so unrealistic for you to hit with Lackey against this deck, especially when you have access to the deck list. It's just not going to happen.
You can see a Daze, another Swords to Plowshares I believe I saw in Nick's hand. A Bolt. Nick has got all the removals.
2 mana, Goblin Piledriver, dazing that. I don't love the casting of Piledriver there either. When you have a Vial on 1, it's going to tick up to 2. I think you're turning on a card that you don't need to turn on in Daze. And now Insectile Aberration is going to come into the red zone, going to put Joey down. You're going to see Cowden's going to sacrifice her. I might see Stoneforge Mystic maybe? Going to get a red land.
Goblin Piledriver in Joey Andrews' list is a nod to the way that this deck is trying to be a little bit more of a solitaire deck, because it can bring on a really fast clock with the best draws. But, one of the things that I think you talked about with, say, way back when Merfolk was more of a deck, it's a card that mostly exists when you're not interacting with your opponent very much. Once you get into interaction, it's not so great.
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting in like combat battles and stuff like that, Piledriver is just something that needs to block down. It's not very hard to kill for a lot of decks. A lot of decks have Swords, they've got Bolts. It's just not a very durable threat. I think you can use better ways to try to go about and win. But when you're playing against like combo decks, like you'd much rather have Piledriver because it closes the game out really fast. In for 3 more we go. So this should knock Andrews down to 14, I believe, for our life total. We will get that updated for you guys. Now here's a Stoneforge Mystic.
Did you see the 2 Bolts in that hand? Oh,
yeah, his
man.
hand is loaded, his Cowden's.
That is stacked.
It is at 15. Gained the life in the Swords of Plowshares earlier, so life total is correct right now. And there's a Jite, which is a absolute blast to play against. Now this is one of those situations where Pyrokinesis is insane. Now, unfortunately for Cowden, he doesn't have a blue card to go along with the Force Wields in his hand, but this is the kind of situation you get yourself into where Pyrokinesis is absolutely awesome. And if you saw Joey Andrews' hand, he does have Pyrokinesis in it.
Untap, tick up to 3. A Hasty Goblin would be pretty awesome here.
He doesn't have a land. He drew another Aether Vial, which actually isn't that bad of a draw. I mean, it's a really delayed land, but it makes it so that your spells can't be countered. I think we might see a Hasty Goblin, maybe a Matron. It is going to be a War Chief.
War Chief, a mini Nombo with Tin Street Hooligan, but that's okay.
Yeah. I'm going to go Bolt, take care of this.
Trying so hard to mount some kind of damage power here. One thing I don't like about that Bolt, I like getting rid of that War Chief. War Chief can cause the most absurd things to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal just because he has another Bolt and a Sword, so I don't think he has to worry about the War Chief all that much. The worry here is if Cowden draws, he drew a land, so now he has Jite online, and it looks like...
If he goes all in, this is going to be a huge blowout.
Yeah, it's actually really, really good here for Andrews. Assuming he has, I know he has Pyrokinesis, and I'm assuming he has another red card in his hand. This actually ends up working out pretty well for him. But Cowden showing the patience. Wowee.
Well done.
Yeah, agreed. Especially in the face of just 1 mana. I can't believe he doesn't move in there. Genuinely surprised. I think Joey Andrews is looking at his Pyrokinesis going, how don't you go in there?
He's got choices to make. He decides not to up it. Maybe he's got a Matron in hand.
Yeah, there's a possibility of that. And with this...
Another burn spell.
Yeah, there's a Bolt. Take care of that.
Yep. Oh, what goblins wouldn't give for a Scion of Una.
Goodness, boy, you gotta kill these guys. There you go.
Zzz.
And he's gonna remove Pyrokinesis 2 and 2. No Force Will for you. You do get to put your Jite in.
What's that card do? Well, it distributes 4 damage however I like, but only to creatures.
Quick, Adrian. What's the cycle of those cards? Go. From Alliances.
Pitch cycle.
Yep. What are the cards? What's the black one?
I see what you're saying.
What's the black one?
Scars of the... I'm sorry, I'm going to go the other way.
Okay.
Scars of the Veteran, Bounty of the Hunt, Pyrokinesis, Force of Will, and the black one's Contagion.
Well done. Well done. Pretty fast. for the old man. Don't take old personally.
Yeah, get off of my lawn. Back in my day, we had Cowden Balloon Brigade, and we liked it.
Daze the draw step for Cowden, so he just drew a blue card for the Force of Will, so a little bit late to the party, but there's a Numzao Shite out there, so that's a bit of a problem.
Okay, I've got one for you. What's the only one of those cards that never saw tournament play?
I have no idea.
Scars of the Veteran.
I don't know what that card does.
It prevents damage and then gives power tokens to the creatures that are prevented.
So it's the white one.
Yes.
Got it.
White, the color of boring.
Yeah. Here's a Delver Secrets. So Cowden does draw a creature. Now he's going to suit up. You see his hand again. Forceful Daze and Swords of Plowshares. War Chief going to untap. You got to tick those vials up. 4 and 3 we go. His draws are very, very good right now. He can draw a Ringleader. He can draw a Matron. He's got a lot of big draws, but he needs to find one of them right now. There's a land.
Oh,
no.
Not so exciting. Look at that
I know,
hand there.
Yeah, I know that look.
This is the turning of the game look.
Yeah.
How about you suicide? Come on, get in the way, buddy.
The thing is, though, he's not out of this. Like, an active Jitte is obviously very annoying, but it's not game over. So Delver's going to come in. What is the card that he drew? Yeah, you see he's taking it in the head. I think he drew a Daze and didn't flip. Because you see the way he drew, yeah, because he's got all spells in his hand. You see the way he drew his card?
Yeah.
He drew it in obviously not the Miracle check or Delver check manner. They've been playing all day.
Yeah.
These things happen.
One thing to remember, it's easy to spectate.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Looks like he's going to kill War Chief right now, too, so the cost reduction doesn't happen. Maybe not. Okay, so he's going to get a white die on there.
Make it easier for everyone at home to see.
Yep.
Now, if you are at home, one of the things to think about, how awesome is it that you get to watch Magic this up and close? If you were actually standing at that table, you wouldn't see the Magic as well as you can see it at home.
Yeah.
Thalia.
Yeah, nope.
No.
And realistically, I actually don't like countering that at all. And the reason I like countering that is, like, what does that matter? Like, you have swords in your hand. You've got a Jitte that is active that can just shoot it down. So what is Thalia actually doing? Like, I don't know what spell there's going to be that's going to blow out Cowden, but like now there's the possibility of him just drawing like a card and just for Andrews and actually being able to do something. I think that was so. I feel like that was like kind of a sloppy Force of Will.
Down to 9 life, Joey Andrews gets a land. He's got his 2 vials, 1 and 3, 1 and 4.
It's like, here's the big thing, like because I think he's going to search for a Taiga now. Because he's really going through his deck. And if he has 10 Street Hooligan in his hand, like, that's a card worth countering a Force of Will.
Maybe it's there. Look at that. He's got a look of aggression. He looks a little bit passionate about this. He's like, okay, I think the door's open. Is it going to work? Oh, my lordy. Oh, look at that look.
Yeah, 10 Street Hooligan. Yeah, that's insane.
Boom.
And he can pay for the days, too.
Wow.
Oh, boy. So now this game is going to turn. Also, don't forget that Cowden forgot to flip his Delver when he saw a Daze because he was too hasty on his draw step. So now Jitte is going to, take care of your 10 Street Hooligan, gain 2 life, go to 14. But he should have Force Will in his hand with the Daze. That Thalia was doing nothing to affect this game.
Yeah, now we see a little bit of life gain for Nick for the other token. And the Delver, what's it going to do?
That flips or Ponder. Yeah, that's
there
like a perfect card to find right now, too. The funny thing here is, like, Joey Andrews is still definitely in this game. Insectile Iteration is going to come across, is going to put him to 6. If Andrews is able to find a Matron or a Ringleader, boy, he can get back in this game.
Yeah, I mean, if I were him, I would be praying to draw a Ringleader as my first draw, put it into play for free, and then just hope, spin the wheel, comes out really well.
And we're almost to the point right now where he needs to consider putting one of his vials up to 5 in case he draws Siege Gang Commander so that he can actually throw something at that Delver because his life total is getting low and this deck has lightning bolts in it. So vial management here as Cowden shuffled with the Ponder and hit a land. He's got swords, he's got days, he's got nothing else. Vial management here is super, super important, and he is going to go up to 5 hoping to peel. Okay.
Yeah.
So what this is a little bit dangerous because if he draws Matron, he gets dazed, which is like a beating. 2 mana. Okay, Pile Driver.
Not exciting.
Draw a card
A
here.
swing and a bolt away, or
push you
2
through.
swings away. And right now, top of the deck, what you got? Ringleader would make it the most interesting.
Big knock. What is that? What are you? Don't be a Matron. I don't know if that's good enough. What are you?
I think it
Is
might be
that a Matron? What is that? Is that an Incinerator? I think it's an Incinerator.
So close. If only I
It
had
is
one more
It is an
life.
Incinerator.
Okay, so
Yep.
he does that, he's gonna do 1
Yeah.
damage from cycling. Hope to draw. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't think he has an out.
Scoopy,
Yep,
scoopy.
scoopy. Nick Cowden moving on to the finals, defeating Joey Andrews 2-1. Blue Red Delver, you're up next for the Reanimator deck.
But now this has to be not what Robert wanted to see
Yeah.
in this result.
Yep.
Now this leaves us with only 2 competitors left. Nick Cowden, the winner here. We also have another winner
Yes, we do.
at home, and Nick Cowden. He actually is representing the archetype of that Star City Games premium question, the trivia question that I asked earlier, for the prize of 6 free months